Zilner-Shevsky, and I'd like to welcome you to the Georgetown Creative Writing Club's Creative Writing Exhibition. This is our second ever public reading, and we hope that you enjoy the pieces we have for you today. Before we get into the work itself, I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you a bit about the club. The Creative Writing Club was founded by myself and a group of students last spring semester, initially as a way for all of us to share our writing with each other, but we very quickly realized that there was no truly good outlet for Georgetown authors to meet each other and receive feedback on their writing without the pressures of a publishing framework. To that end, the Creative Writing Club is committed to accepting all writers at all levels of talent. We have no application processes. If you want to write with us, you can. The club received access to benefits at the beginning of this semester and is currently running 3 general workshops and 1 genre workshop. The 3 general workshops meet on a weekly basis for 1 hour to do exercises and discuss submitted works. All of the pieces you'll hear today either arose out of an exercise and workshop or were discussed and then revised with the workshop's feedback. Our 3 general workshops meet Wednesdays from 8 to 9, Fridays from 4 to 5, and Sundays from 8 to 9. We also have a spoken word poetry genre workshop, also known as the Corpus, which runs Tuesdays from 8 to 9. For more information on how to join these workshops, feel free to come up to me after this reading or send me an email at do67@georgetown.edu. But enough on that, on to what you're here for. Our second reader is in absentia today. He could not be here. I will be reading instead. This is a poem by James Pavur, a sophomore in the SFS, studying STIA, and the poem is entitled Predator. The dogs converse with the moon. A warm breeze wafts under the window. The moon whispers back its warning. The dogs converse with the moon. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow is the wedding. Even now would be better. The dogs converse with the moon. With painful howls they beg. Some other place, some other time, maybe never. The dogs converse with the moon, and I cannot sleep. Some other place, some other time, maybe never. The dogs converse with the moon. I curse them. Tomorrow's a big day. I don't want to oversleep. The dogs converse with the moon, and I cannot sleep. Finally, with a whimper, the dogs fall silent. Yesterday, the dogs conversed with the moon, and the moon boasted about what it saw launching from the airstrip. Today, the dogs watched with sunken eyes as plants in the garden, like magnets, pulled fire from the sunlit sky. Tonight, the dogs weep with the moon, watching our ashes rise, a new layer of moon dust. Thank you. Our third reader will be Adam Kianowski, a sophomore in the college studying government, and he will be reading a short story entitled Elkstone Forest.
I remember the Elkstone Forest better than the back of my own hand. The trees, the glistening streams, the hum of insects, and sunlight gleaming in through the leaves. However, my parents always warned me to never go directly into the center of the forest. According to local legend, there had been a witch that was burnt at the stake during the early 1700s near the Elkstone Forest after she had been convicted of kidnapping. Her spirit still haunted the inner woods and abducted anyone that entered her domain. There had in fact been a number of disappearances over the years, although this had been blamed more on alcohol and illicit drugs than the spirit of a vengeful witch. Regardless, I always obeyed my parents' warnings, since I knew that my parents feared for my personal safety. But then I became a teenager and decided to disobey my parents, because why not? One night during Christmas break, I decided to go explore the interior of the woods. I brought along a flashlight, my cell phone, and a couple of granola bars for provisions. There was a light snow, and my teeth chattered, both from the cold and the anticipation of my upcoming adventure. Upon entering the woods, I started traveling along one of the established paths, and then I hopped over the path's roping once I got as close to the center as I could. As I continued to walk around the underbrush, the snow abruptly stopped. The canopy of trees was just simply too thick for it to get through. By this point, it was pitch black outside, and even with my flashlight, I could only see a few feet in front of me. Just as I was about to turn back, I bumped into something. After stepping back, I saw that I had walked straight into a stone hut with thatched roofing. I calmly stepped around it and knocked on an ancient rotting door, inadvertently punching through it. Realizing that this little hut had probably been abandoned for the last couple of decades, I decided to just kick down the rest of the door. And with a little bit of effort, I managed to reduce it into a pile of wood pulp. I then started to step inside the little hut, only to see 20 skeletons standing in a semicircle. I dropped my flashlight in shock, and when I picked it up again, I saw that the skeletons were now standing around me. It was at this point that I charged through the circle and started to frantically run for my life. Skeletons popped up around me as I sprinted through the dark of the night. Panicking, I put on my cell phone and started dialing 911 as I continued to run for my life. Just as I was about to hit the final number, I found myself unable to bring my finger down into the phone. As I struggled to complete my call, my legs started buckling under me, and I felt myself being forced to the ground. As my body was rocked by vibrations, and the skeletons slowly approached me with their hands outreached, I came to a horrifying conclusion. There was a 21st skeleton, and it was inside me. The last thing I saw, from the light of my cell phone, was my skeleton freeing itself from my flesh and approaching the other 20.
Our next reader will be Sarah Griffin, a freshman in the SFS, major undeclared, reading two poems, Thorns and Philosopher King.
The first poem I'm reading is Thorns. I need to learn to breathe again. Dig out these shards sunk in my chest. Believe the broken glass, the bits that draw this poison blood won't prick. The ice won't kill the rose. I've tried to break up the roots, but it won't die. The thorns embedded in the heart, so hidden just beneath the skin, won't set me free, won't let it bleed. It's got me all tied up. I'm begging on my knees. Drink from the cup. Wish for my lips to freeze. I'm all lopsided tonight. It isn't healthy, this staring at marks on the ceiling, hoping for divine inspiration from the cracks in the plaster, for matters of the heart, the things that matter least. My soul is poorly ordered. It possesses none of the wisdom I once prized. It's feeling half empty tonight. The heart is boundless. It keeps the mind in check. There is nothing left to my resistance. I know that staring at the writing on the wall and resenting implications is the very nature of the beast.